Hello! We are currently on my favourite road in the entire world, the A87 between Invergarry and Kyle of Lochalsh. So that's enough of looking at me. Let me turn the camera around, look at the road, and then we'll get on with the video. The purpose of this video really is to catch up with you. It's just a bit of a monologue, a bit of a chat about the trip we just had, which was, as many of you will know, to Portugal, Spain and France, and then about what we're up to now. So to go back to Portugal, Spain and France, that was a 2-month trip, and what I wanted to talk about that was that 2 months was, for me, it was a long time. It felt like a long time. It felt like a long time to be away from the UK, which I call home, on my own. And to be honest, one of the issues we had on that trip, when I say we, I always mean me and Dougal, or the royal we, just me, but either way, one of the issues I had on that trip was loneliness, because even though I got some great friends, and as you know I was with Shana in Portugal, I met up with a couple of friends in Tarifa, and my friend Kim in Maurice, there was a lot of, I didn't know the people or the culture, the language. And yeah, it got a bit lonely, and what I wanted to talk about was Brits abroad. Now, Brits abroad generally have a bad reputation, especially when you think of marauding troops of yobs going through popular resorts like Benidorm. Never got a good press. I would like to turn that around. I would like to say that in certain parts, Brits abroad were my saving grace, and when I say that, I mean the lovely people who were on the camping and caravanning club rally at La Manga, and the people who were setting up for the motor caravanners club rally at Bonterra Park. Even though I wasn't part of their rallies, I would often walk along the lines or past their caravans or the motorhomes. People would stop and chat, and it was just nice sometimes just to talk about the weather and just know that there were people around who could not only speak your language, but were nice people, friendly people, and it really made such a difference. So my takeaway really from that trip is that if you are going to do a long trip like that, especially to a foreign country, then I think you would do really well to consider joining a guided tour or a rally, because the other thing I noticed is that while there were activities planned on the rallies, there seemed to be no obligation that anyone had to join in with everything. You could just pick and mix as you wish. And as I say, I think in future, if I was to spend a long time overseas, I would definitely consider doing a rally or a guided tour, or at least part of my trip would be doing that. So really that was the main takeaway. It was a long time. I don't think, for me personally, I'm going to rush back and do that again. I miss the UK too much. The best bit, I think as many of you will realise looking at the videos, for me was the French Alps. I loved it, but it was expensive. That campsite Utopia was best part of €30 a night. The lift pass, even though it was a half-day lift pass, a 4-hour lift pass, on the first week of the resort opening, that was €35. So you can imagine it must add up very quickly. Not the kind of place you can spend a long time before running out of money, but I really did enjoy it. So I went back to the UK with my mum for Christmas. Some of you will know we had some very bad news, and that is just after I got back to the UK, 2 days later, very sadly, my mum's dog, her Doberman Casper, he sadly died of a heart attack. Some of you may remember Casper when I do videos of coming back from trips overseas where I have to take the plane, and Dougal would meet me at the door. Casper would be the dog he was staying with, the brown Doberman. So obviously that was really, really sad, and I spent longer than anticipated down with my mum, obviously, because she was upset. And anyway, so that was unfortunately put a bit of a damper on our Christmas celebrations, but we're finally on our way, and no prizes for guessing that I'm back up in Scotland, my beloved Scotland. And I have to say, just driving along this road now, it feels absolutely magical. I know it's raining, I don't care, it's just magical. But to get here, we obviously had to drive all the way up through England and Scotland, and the highlight of the drive here so far was definitely the Lake District. The sun shone, the light on the hills was just amazing. So let me take you back a couple of days to that wonderful drive through the Lake District up here to Scotland. So that was the drive here. And now, as I say, we're on the A87 and we're heading to the Isle of Skye, where I'm going to stay the night, and tomorrow I get the ferry to the Outer Hebrides, and I just cannot wait. And get this, Sanyong wanted their car back. I mean, what a cheek! I really wanted to keep it. You can probably tell I really like that Rexton, but no, they wanted their car back, so we're back in the truck. And the plans now are really just to chill out for a bit, but also on a personal level, 2019 marks the year that I will be 50. I'm hitting my half century this year. And there is one thing left on my bucket list. Just one. That's it, because as you may remember, in 2018 I ticked off probably the biggest one for me, which was seeing the Northern Lights, when I went to Finland and went along in that caravan on skis, the Adria Action, and saw the Northern Lights. That for me, well, it was obviously the highlight of 2018, hands down, without question, but also it was one of two things on my bucket list. So we are now heading to the Outer Hebrides to probably do the last one. I'm not going to tell you what it is, folks. I'm going to leave you in suspense. Yes, I will be vlogging it. I really hope we get some nice weather so that the filming comes out really nice. So that means that the next vlog might be a little bit delayed while I get that filmed and edited, but don't worry about that. And then other than that, I've also got some videos lined up. Now, a lot of people have asked me, how do you do the filming of the drone shots when you're driving the car? So that is obviously a video I need to make, and that's going to tie in with a very small mini-series, probably about 3 videos, about how I vlog, the equipment I use, the way I film things, and then my process. So that's really the plan for the next few videos on this channel, which is really going to be my bucket list trip, and then, which probably somehow, I'll warn you now, a lot of you might think, is that it? Is that it? Is that all it is? So don't get your hopes up, folks. And then the others I'm hoping to do while I'm over in the islands, if I get the time, because I really do need a break, is to do those vlogging videos. So I'm going to leave that there for a little update. It's not the end of the video yet, because all I shall do now is keep the cameras rolling until we get to the Outer Hebrides and take you with us on our trip over to my special place. But I can tell you now, I feel just so happy, so happy to be back in my special place. Anyone who is Scottish by birth or adoption completely will get how I feel right now. You happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Yes! Are you happy? Dougal, come on. So here we are, we've made it to the beautiful island of North Uist. As you can see, because it's the Outer Hebrides in the winter, of course it's raining and windy and stormy. Apparently. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that journey over with us. I'm gonna relax now for a few days and look forward to my bucket list trip next week. We're gonna take practically every single form of transport available to get to where we're going. So I hope you come back and join us again soon. In the meantime, it just leaves me to say from Dougal and from me, from the beautiful island of North Uist, thanks for tuning in.